And if there is a value, that's in the verse for this. How do we know by Kiddushin that Shvei Kesef Kesef? By Pidyon Ben, there's a drash, there's klal uprat to klal. But by Erchin and Hegdesh, how do we know? And maybe Hegdesh is his part, klal uprat to klal. But Kiddushin and Erchin are still stuck. We don't know the source. How do we know the Shvei Kesef Kesef?
What is the possibility that he gave two things there?
Dovo shemitaltel ve'gufay momoin. Anything which moves around and it's money itself, not shtar, which is not gufay momoin, and not kaka, which is not mitaltel. He says ekdeishois and pidyon ben are part of the post kalukat for the klal.
The same Hekdesh is the same klal.
Yes, yes. The klal upatu klal is tells me by pidyon ben that you have to have mitaltel and gufa momoin. So as long as gufa momoin is good, it doesn't matter if it's kesef or shvei kesef. But also exclude shtoris and karkois. So Gdeishas is part of the klal upatu klal of pidyon ben. But Erchin and Kiddushin, we don't have a verse. And since we find that we need a verse for it, must be there's no maila. Sorry, must be there is a maila in Kesef or in Shvei Kesef. Otherwise, I wouldn't need a pasuk. It was the same. I don't need a pasuk.
I don't really understand what you just said.
What?
I'm not clear on what you just said.
I just said, I explained tosfos. Tosfos kasha is v'im toimar minolo de Shvei Kesef Kesef. How do we know that the value of money is like money? What do you mean, how do we know?
Generally accepted.
What is the simple understanding that Kesef has more value than Shvei Kesef?
Yes, because one time
Kesef, money as a mean to buy anything I want. And value of money is a thing itself that if I want, it's okay. If not, I'm stuck with it. So apparently, Tosfos had to bring a proof that the value of money is not like money. I need a verse for it. As we see by Evedivri, that you need a pasuk Yoshu Rabbi Shvei Kesef Kesef.
Because otherwise, you would either make a distinction between the two.
No, otherwise I don't need a verse there. If the value of money is like money, and there's no any more points in money than value of money. So I don't need a verse by Evedivri to tell me that value of money is like money. Shvei Kesef Kesef.
the tosfos in his first parents is holding that it is different. Because he says if it's a just kesef, I would think that's the kesef.
Again,
When tosfos requires his first kasha,
Yes.
take two things. He
What?
says because I would make a mistake and think
make a mistake
he says we need to
and
add
think that Kesef is better than Shvei Kesef is only Kesef.
that's the
And he says it's a mistake. It's not true. That Shvei Kesef and Kesef is the same.
that's the Kiddush of the tongue.
Yes. The question is where the Talmud knows it from. We see. We
You're in
see
the toast.
must without a pasuk. Who knows Shvei Kesef and Kesef?
What?
Without a pasuk, without a verse, I would not know that Shvei Kesef is like Kesef. The value of money is like Kesef. The value of Kesef is like Kesef. Who know it? So Tosfos answer.
You think that you'd have to give kesef, period, silver,
Yes.
and nothing else.
Tosfos stays with a kasha. I'm reading the last 7 words in the kasha. Aval gabe kiddushin ve'erchin. By kiddushin and erchin minolon. How do we know the Shvei Kesef Kesef? That's the kasha. By kiddushin, there's no pasuk, and by erchin there's no pasuk.
It says Kesef.
And it says the word kesef. Yes. Both says kesef. Minola, how do we know the Shvei Kesef Kesef? I need a verse for that. Now wait a second. Wait a second. Let's now think. Kiddushin, it's a kinyan.
Also, Maseches also-
Ergin is not a kinyan. What is ergin? Is a debt, paying a debt. My value and I pay my debt.
Like Kiddushin, Ekdesh.
Eved Ivri depends. You buy an Eved Ivri and you redeem an Eved Ivri. If you're talking about the redemption, so it's not a kinyan. Ekdesh is a redemption, or it's a payment, or it's a kinyan. Ekdeshois, it's pidyon, is redemption. Eved Ivri is a redemption. Ekdeshois is a redemption. Ergin is what is I redeem myself. I said my value to Hashem, and I redeem my value as a redemption. But Kiddushin, once again, Kiddushin is a kinyan. So what's the comparison? Tosfos says, I see by an Eved, that in a version of Kesef, that's by redemption. But by a kinyan, it's different. Tosfos made a comparison between kinyonim and redemption.
But the both go from one rishus to another rishus. How you
True.
want to look at it?
Again.
Go from one rishus to another rishus.
Again. Torah has a kash. How do we know that Shvei Kesef is like Kesef? We know that behold, we see by Eved Ivri, the by Eved Ivri, the Ole Kamon, the Daftet Zayin, Iboy Lekro, the Gemara needs a verse. The Eved Ivri, reference Eved Ivri, Yoshiv LeRabba, Shekesef Kesef. To tell you that Shvei Kesef Kesef. What's the Naya? There is a redemption. By redemption, I want to redeem myself. Who says Shvei Kesef Kesef? But I want to make a kinyan.
But you redeem, you do a Maaseh Kinyan.
When you redeem, you do a Maaseh Kinyan.
Now when you redeem, you do the Kinyan.
The evident that slave is being bought, and now when he redeems himself, he's doing a kinyan for himself. That's the language of the Mishnah. Look in the Mishnah, Daf Yudalad Amud Beis.
Why do they say he's making?
It says, Eved Ivri Nikna Bekesef V'Shtar V'Koine Atzmoi V'Shoy V'Ru Giron Kesef. Giron Kesef is a kinyan. It's a kinyan. Oh, so then we're making a demon between a kinyan to a kinyan. A woman you coin a bekesef, and the Eved you coin a bekesef, and you make a kinyan to redeem a bekesef. But it's not redemption; it's a kinyan. Likmas atzma to acquire himself. He does. He brings the raya from an Eved, and in the process Shvei Kesef.
No, because he said that Tana makes the two things why.
Yeah. Well,
It's a Shabbat because the Tana says it. It's not what was making the opinion. The Tana said the Chiddush Shabbat. He says Shabbat.
where?
Our Mishnah.
No, I don't understand what you're talking about. We're talking about now the raya of Eved Ivri to Kiddushin.
He's saying he said every day Shabbat Kesef, so he has a pasuk.
Eved Ivri has a pasuk Shvei Kesef Kesef. So Tosfos says I need a pasuk. So also my Kiddushin, where's the pasuk? Oh, so the demon is the same way by Eved Ivri, which is a kinyan la'atzmo to coin himself. He needs a pasuk to Shvei Kesef. Also, a woman that I want to coin her, I need a pasuk to tell me to Shvei Kesef. Kinyan.
Maybe because of the din Shabbat Kesef, we need a right for that. Who says it's done in the that's in Dabar.
Oh, so what do you want to say? That I learn one from another, and they're not doing it. For example, let's talk about the Ziki. Can I learn Shvei Kesef from the Ziki? We asked a question and we answered. So Bo says, who says it needs to be a doime? I asked, it's not doime, and he answers it was doime. It was both a kinyonim. So he says, who says they need to be similar in the mahut? I just want to know, what does the word kesef mean? One second, I want to spell out my question. In Nezikim is definitely a payment. It's not a kinyan, I'm not acquiring. If somebody damaged me or I damaged someone, I need to pay. It's a payment of damage. It's a payment of a debt. It's not a kinyan, it's not an acquisition. So to learn from the Zikim, I can learn one from another. The Zikim is a payment, and Kiddushin, it's a kinyan.
You don't have to be, but you're talking about.
And yet we learn one that according to the Maharsha, we'll see soon in a second. The limud can be also according to the second answer, you learn from the Zikim, not from Evadim. How can you learn from the Zikim? The Zikim, it's a payment, and here it's a kinyan. Kinyan, kicha, a whole different world. I can learn another. Elamai. As a Baruch said, I want to define what you said. We just want to have a gilui. What is the perush of the word kesef? The Bnei and it's easy. If the Bnei is right, it's very easy. We're not learning to learn binyan abba matzinu. Because the binyan abba matzinu, I can tell you, this is a kinyan, this is a payment. If it's evidently kinyan, but in the zikin, this is a kinyan, it's about how can you have a matzinu? But if it's not a abba matzinu, it's just a gilui in the language of kesef. What kesef means, what it tells us kesef, what it tells meant. If it's a gilui, then it's okay. I have a gilui, what? Yeah.
Ezekiel not payment. We saw places in
Yeah.
in public comment that without the Torah will be no chiyuv also.
It's not what comes in Kiddushin. There's a Kiddushin. If you'd give it Amud Beis. Yes. No. It's choiv of the Torah. It's milva k'shua Torah. It's a milva. It's not a kinyan. It's choiv milva. Yeah. The Gemara calls it. Shloimo, Rabbi Shloimo, opened up, you'd give him Amud Beis. You'd give him Amud Beis in tosfos. That's what you probably meant. Tosfos said, give him Amud Beis. Milva k'shua b'Torah. At the top of the page. You have a Gemara, Yonatan? Open the Gemara, if you'd give him Amud Beis. Read for me the Tos on the top of the page. Milva k'shua b'Torah. Tosfos says, Pirush kigon korbono is opinion aben ve'erin ve'nezikin. Tosfos puts sacrifices, redeeming of the firstborn child, ergin, my value, venezikim. All of them, so it's called milva k'suva Torah. It's a loan of the Torah. The obligation is the Torah. It's a debt from the Torah. What's it? Why the Torah? Without the Torah, I wouldn't know. Aval milva, but a loan, a real loan. I gave you money without a document. I don't need the Torah to tell me if I lend you money to give me back the money. Because my money's by you. Give me back my money. It's a common sense. The Torah doesn't have to tell me the measurement. I have to give me back. The pshit is simple. Whatever I lend you, you have to pay me back. Alone, I don't need the Torah to tell me to pay back. Because my money's by you. Give me back what I gave you. Whatever is mine by you, give it back. But by sacrifices and by pidyon apen and by erchim, by nezikim, all those things, it's called a loan of the Torah. What do you want to ask?
We really need adjudication when it comes to the.
You need a what?
We need to have a din. Say this one owes that one because he damaged this one.
Yes. Yes. Without the Torah, I won't know the obligation. I won't know the measurement I'm going to pay, or even not have to pay at all. If I just appease the person, I'm sorry, I did damage. I'm sorry. That's all. But what if I damage you? I didn't take it for myself. I broke the chair. So I'm sorry, but I didn't take the chair for myself. He asked me back a chair. The chair's not by me. It's just damage. It's an action. I can ask forgiveness. I can pay a little bit, appease you a little bit, or pay you more because you get angry. Who knows? Something. The damage has nothing to do with an acquisition. But by Kiddushin, again, so Tosfos brought a raya from Evedivri. Now we understand very good, because Evedivri is a kinyan, and Kiddushin is a kinyan. But if I want to learn from the Zikim, I can't learn from the Zikim. Tosfos did not bring a raya from the Zikim, because the Zikim, you know why I need a posuk there? Because it's a payment. Who says by a payment, I can choose what I pay? Who says in my choice? It's a Kiddush HaTorah. The whole thing is a Kiddush. Who says in my choice? You need a pasuk. But by Kiddushin. No. The Torah said Kesef. The Torah Kesef. The question is, do I need a pasuk for Kesef? I say, you bring a raya from a payment. From the Zikim, I need a pasuk. Maybe by a payment, you need a pasuk, but not by a kinyan.
It also.
Because by kinyanim, we both mutual agreement, otherwise we won't make the kinyan. When you have mutual agreement, shuvekesef, like a kesef. And by payment, it's not a mutual agreement. I damage you. No agreement. He didn't agree to damage. It's a fact. Already damaged, already a debt. So then who says it's my choice to choose how to pay you? I need a pasuk for that. But when it's a free choice thing, kinyanim, maybe shuvekesef kesef is a mitzvah. So that's why we cannot bring, Toysa didn't bring a raya from Nezikim, only from Eved Ivri. Yes.
And then he asked where from a core for Kiddushin.
Yes. And Ergim.
That sounds to me that other rabbi that they're not doing it, that's why you can't learn from Eved Ivri and you don't know them before.
What's Toysa's answer?
And where?
On this kasha.
He said, no, but that's the rabbi, in the Havamina.
What's Toysa's answer?
You learn from Eved Ivri.
What?
But that's but in the kasha, it shows you.
The kasha was he thought that you need a pasuk on its own.
Why? Because they're not doing it.
Not because not doing it. Other rabbi don't doing it. Since I need a pasuk, so he need a pasuk. No, you can. That's Toysa's answer. Binanav.
That's a death. What was the kasha?
Kasha, it wasn't Binanav. It's a pasuk, and he's searching for the pasuk.
If it's dome, you only know the pasuk.
But he wasn't searching pasuk or binanav. He wanted to eliminate a svara. That's what he wanted. The shvekesef kesef. That's the point of Tosis. Because that's the point. Listen carefully. If shvekesef was less than kesef itself, so I understand why I need a pasuk by Eved Ivri. But if shvekesef is equal to kesef, misvara, so I don't know the pasuk by Eved Ivri. Once I prove that shvei kesef is less than kesef, and that's why I need the pasuk by Eved Ivri, so I need a source to tell me that also by Kiddushin shvei kesef is kesef. What is the source? He says Eved Ivri.
He gave us the Savara that Shavik Kesef is less than Kesef. And the Savara, he says, the Tana said Shavik put the Y. So you're not going to make a mistake to think
That what?
That's a Kesef.
What is the word mistake? What does a mistake mean?
They're not going to make it is not to be noted.
Hava min maskono or mistake? You know the difference between hava min maskono, hava min kamashmanon, or mistake? Ta'ut. What does ta'ut means? Ta'ut means a mistake, means what you thought is wrong. Hava min maskono means what you thought could be right, but it's not the final. It's not the main svara. There's something, a stronger svara. Hava min maskono means there's a svara, and you agree to the hava min, there's a svara. They say the true svara, the stronger svara is the maskana. Tos, mistake means wrong. You thought A, it's wrong, it's B. Now A exists, A doesn't exist. Say again. Tos says yada tos. Don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake that kesef is better than shove kesef. Mishnah tells you that what? That kesef and shove are the same. What? Right. So Tais has a kasha. Who told you it's the same? I see by Eved Ivri is not the same as less. He made it as less. What's the McCoy? And the answer is Eved Ivri. Because why you need a puzzle? But that works. If I need a puzzle, it must be it's less. Again, the Havamina was that Kesef is better than Shavik Kesef. Not Havamina. The toes, I would say. The mistake thinking was that Kesef is better than Shavik Kesef. We said it's a mistake. Kesef and Shavik Kesef are equal. Now that they're equal, have a kasha, being toima. How do we know Shavik Kesef? You tell me it's equal. I will show you by Eved Ivri that in the pasuk must be that it's less. So he made if it's less, what's the McCoy? And the answer is Eved Ivri. But you kasha was. When places Havamina, why did he learn from Eved Ivri? The answer is the Havamina was not where to learn from. The Havamina was to prove that it's less. If it's not less, I don't need a pasuk. It's a mistake. It's less. It's a toast to say Shvei Kesef is less. That's a ta'ut. Because Kesef is better and Shvei Kesef is less. He says that's a ta'ut thinking. And really, Kesef is not less, it's the same. She's proving Toima. How do we know Sheker Kesef? Because they're not the same. I'm sure maybe there's less.
He's saying that's what the Tana wants to tell you to get you away from that Havana in the.
She says ta'ut. Doesn't say Havamina. He doesn't. Why Toshas didn't use the language of Havamina? Use the language of ta'ut. What does the word ta'ut mean? Mistake. Yes.
Why do we need Abraham pay money for the field?
Yes.
It's because that's the natural way of the world to pay with money. But why should I have a mina that Abraham says, okay, 10 camels and 10 donkeys, and I will.
Why not? That's what he did those days. What's your question?
Yeah, in those days they pay with salary.
Right.
Salary, salt.
No.
Yeah. So there is no Avamina to think that just feel because the Torah wrote money is just money. No, it's just the way of the land to pay with money. But if Abraham would choose, okay, I don't have money, but he knows that from that money, but just because it's abroad. But I can give you camels, I can give you donkeys, I can give you whatever you can.
So what's your question?
And we don't need all the choices because.
Why?
We don't need the right to say that Shaveh Kesef, because by nature you can pay a field with Shaveh Kesef, with donkeys, with camels, with everything.
What does the word nature mean?
Nature is the ways of the man.
The way of the world.
How you understand the money, but you can pay also with other things.
Who told you?
That's why I say that salary. What is salary? Salt. They pay in those days a worker with salt. Not with Kesef.
No, that's the last 1,000 years. What about 3 years, 2,000 years ago? Okay, we're not talking about that.
And all the time he gave for the dotes of the daughter, Asaragi Malim, for Rika, and Mikol Tuv, and Mikol Tuv Aretz. It's so why don't you Torah to tell me that because the Torah write money that Abraham pay money, just the field it's money, and it's not there's no kinyan. Why? It's in Shaveh Kesef. It's in the logic.
The tosfos himself says why you would think make the ta'ut to think.
1 second. Yes.
What I understand that Kesef, whoever has buying power, you talk about really buying power. Whoever has buying power, I don't know what it is, but wherever has the buying power is considered Kesef.
Is what? Well, everyone has the buying power. Yes. That's what I'm going to say. It's like, yes. I want to answer that.
Says why you would make the mistake. He says not because in Savaya you make a mistake. He's saying you make a mistake because of Sada Ephraim. That's what he says. Kiddushin as the next thing.
Where?
Right there by the Talmud, he says.
Yes.
He says the Bishop you tell him why Kesef Dafka, but no Shaveh Kesef Kiddushin Kita Picha.
Right.
It says Kesef, so you would think that Kesef. That's
Right.
the reason you would think that Kesef.
Right.
But what about that?
No. He's saying, where does the word Kesef says by Kiddushin? It says Kicha. And it says the word Kesef. That's what you're trying to say. To make that mistake, you have to show me where it says the word Kesef. So he says the word Kesef, but it's therefore. Then you make a mistake. Only Kesef, not Shvei Kesef, because it's less. So he says, in Toima, why it's a mistake? I mean, on Shvei Kesef, I didn't know that Shvei Kesef is equal to Kesef. I'll show you by Evediv is less. And he says, you're right. For Evediv, I show it's less. And I learned from there that although it's less, two works. The subject matter, you asked the kasha, I'm trying to answer you. You asked the kasha, why Toisas have him in the wars to ask from Evediv, just learn from Evediv. Why didn't he veer Shloima? Also was the Havamina. Because it wasn't the subject matter. The pulling of the hand back and forth, what was the fight about? Fight about was Shvekes is like Kesef or less. Toisa says it's the same. It's a mistake. It's a, what? Right, but those aspects that are the same, it's enough to be the same or not. So the Havamina was, Toisa says, not that Toisa says it's a mistake to think it's less as far as Kiddushin really is the same, and that aspect of Kiddushin. It's not true. How do we know it's the same? I see by Evediv is less. So now you can answer me. You're right. I see from there it's less. because I need a pasuk, but I learn from there, although it's less, still it works. Taram, taram. There it's a kinyan, also here it's a kinyan. I mean, here it's a kinyan, if it was also a kinyan. So according to this, we say, if I learn from the zikim, we have a problem, because the zikim is not a kinyan. Yes? No. If it's the same, it's the same. That's not true. If the same, it's the same. If kesef if shve kesef is the same as kesef, it's the same. The tail is not hitting the head in a wall. Tail is a svara. So if shve kesef is kesef, it's the same. Savada is the same. But if it's less, I show you if it's less. So that's enough. 1 second. I explained to you something. I heard you. Look here in the papers.
Why is less? Because it's not money.
Look in the Atzmos Yosef. Yeah, the Atzmos Yosef. The Atzmot Yosef in the second page below. Why don't you have this page? What? No one give you? We printed at least 100 of these. Base Sefer HaMakre. Below that is Yosef. Daf base below Sefer HaMakre. באמצע דיבור המתחיל ועם תוימה מילון שווה כסף, דולו כמון אנסצ'ו וכולי. איקשו המהרשו. זה מהרשו על הקש. כאימן דמשהו מדבריהם, since you can understand from the words of tosfos, the lav hodi miboy lekro. If it wasn't for that, the Torah was needed, the verse was needed. If it wasn't that, the Torah is needed to tell me a verse. It's possible to say from common sense. The misvora amrinon ken the shve kesef. That's the way I understand stories. Again. Toisa says, "V'yeshloima de alfim in evedivri." And he has a kasha, v'im toima. I'm putting it down on a second for them to makne, and I'm continuing on toss it inside. V'im toima v'ogabenezikim. נע מקסיב קרוי כסף יושב לבעליו ודרשינו פרקם ובקם יושב לרבו שווה כסף. It says by Nezikim I also have a verse that says kesef yoshiv lebaolo. Of the word yashiv we say that to superfluous to teach you that value of kesef is like kesef. So I have two verses that says the same thing. There's a rule when I have two verses that says the same thing. Why do I have to repeat the same thing twice? Must tell you only here, nowhere else. So how can you use Evedivri as a teacher, as a melamed? To Kiddushin, Evedivri and Nezikim are two verses saying the same thing. That the value of money is like money, and since the two things says the same twice, must be only here, nowhere else. 1 second. So Tosfos answers two answers, and then what's the goal of the answers? That they are needed. When two verses are saying the same thing twice, they tell you only here, nowhere else. And melamdim, when they're not needed for, there's no reason. You say the same thing twice. There's no reason to say it twice. But if there's some other reason to say it twice, I would think otherwise. Or if it says only one, I wouldn't know the other. If it said the other, I wouldn't know the one. There's some reason like this. It goes on to explain the reasons. And therefore there are teachers, and Evedivri and Ezekiel be the teachers. This is what Moshe says. Yes, what do you want, Yecheskel?
Kiddushin, which is the deduction of price through which a Hebrew slave can go free according to the Mishnah.
Again,
Which is the deduction of price, which is an Hebrew.
what is reduction of price?
Deduction of price.
Reduction or deduction? I'm saying English.
Assumption.
The deduction. How much which is the deduction of price through which a Hebrew slave can go free according to Mishnah Kiddushin. As the tosfos say, he wants to redeem himself with the 6 years that his slave has calculated the coin and the years. I don't know English, sorry. I prefer to speak in Hebrew.
Speak in Hebrew, tell me in Hebrew.
תוספות אומר, איך אתה יודע כמה אתה שווה אם אתה עברית, עבד עברי, כמה אתה שווה, כאילו, איך אתה יודע כמה אתה שווה אם אתה עבד עברי? אז הוא אומר שאתה צריך לחכות 6 שנים, 6 שנים,
כן, לחשב.
למה העברי הוא עבד? בגלל שהוא עשה משהו רע, הוא צריך לעשות תשובה, אז הוא צריך כאילו למכור על עצמו למישהו שלא יודע, גנב, או מישהו נתן לו כסף והוא לא יכול לשלם, או הוא לא יכול כאילו אפילו לחיות בעצמו, אז איך יודעים כמה הוא שווה? כאילו, איך אני יודע כמה שווה עבד? כאילו, כסף וכסף, בסדר, כמה זה כסף וכסף? כאילו, איך אני יכול, כאילו, לדעת כמה זה שווה?
How you measure the equivalence?
I understand what he is. I just don't understand what's related, what does it do with us?
No, it's not a question, it's like a
Synopsis.
Indian.
You review the whole, you review his understanding. Reviewing his understanding.
The value
Asking you if he
of
understands.
So I tell you how, you go to the market,
Yeah.
and the market tells you the value.
But it's not the same from a young child.
The market tells you what's not the same.
Together.
Everything the market will tell you. Okay. So now, let's go. What? I made it in brakes and hand brakes because I realized that I cannot teach you show you from the makna anything because I didn't teach a tosfos yet. So I really have to teach a tosfos, then go back to the makna. So let's continue on the tosfos. So tosfos says I learned from Eved Ivri. He has a kasha. People are with me in the tosfot. I went over quickly. I'm going to go over it again slowly, read the answer slowly, and then I'll go. If we have time, it's Hashem. I'm going to go through the Marshor, Rashash, and then Mark can explain what I want to say. Yeah, Shash. But not the Rashash you know. It's a higher level Rashash. This Rashash you have to put your head to understand. That's sure it's hard. Really, both Rashash are. Also, the Rashash and the Marpu is hard, but both. This is tough. Yes. Yes. Both are kinyonim. Because even redemption is koines atzmon. What? That's what he's saying. So we learned from them. Why the I mean, we didn't say that in the kasha. So I gave you an answer because the kasha, the subject matter was to knock out the understanding, the toes, that is not a toes. I'll prove you that my mistake is not a mistake, is the truth. That Kesef and Shve Kesef is not the same. Shve Kesef is less. Dor be'evedivri, it's less. What? I want to know where the Tana knows from. No, we can't say man. We ask on the Tana, where from? Or the Gemara will tell you where from. The number one teaching they teach you in the laws of the Ramchal is always have to know the reason. Case, law, reason, and source. If one of those factors is not being clear, or the Gemara will ask it, or the Rishon will ask it. The case has to be clear, the law has to be clear, the reason has to be clear, and the source, the factor. Okay, it doesn't matter. Some people say factor. Doesn't say. Minola, how do we know it from? It has to be a source. What?
That's it. Who said you have to be? How do you see that he's changing the Savara? I don't see that.
Because the Asik, when he says Minolon, the whole, what is the whole from? He's asking, how do I know that value of money is money? What do you mean? He just said before that value of money is like money. So I don't need it. It's a mistake to think otherwise. He says, no, I'll prove you from Evediv is not a mistake. That Shvei Kesef is less. So if I know, if it's less, how do I know it? So then he answers from Evedivri.
That's enough. Why do you need more than that? The other is you learn from the Kiddushin.
No, but it's been the other things. You have Pidyon Ben, you have Ekdeishois, you have Erchin. What?
We were saying that because you bring up a dibri, it must be that you don't have a dibri.
Yes, yes.
I said because you bring up a dibri and then after picking you do for makor. The guy Kiddushin is good for saying it's not done.
Why when I bring in a makor that is shvek is not kesef, other Rabbi I learn is doime. Otherwise, how can I make a raya from them? It's not doime.
But he's not being the raya.
Is what?
But he's not being the raya.
He's what?
He's not being the raya from there.
What is, he's not bringing it? What is he? What is he?
He says every day I have a makor, and here I don't have a makor.
That's not true. That's what the way you learn. He's not saying that. He says the makor teaches me. That's why I wanted to show you the makane. The makor teaches me that is less. That's how I answer you. Ask me 5 times the question. I gave you 5 times the answer. And listen, I'm teaching you something. That the makor of Evedivri is not only a makor for that we have a source, and where's the source here? It's also teaching me how do I perceive Kesef.
Yes, I can accept that mistake. Why need more than that? Why continue to look for another makor Kiddushin? If that was it, then it's enough.
No, I only have a guy from Evedivri that Kesef and Shvei Kesef are not the same. Shvei Kesef is less. And that's why I need a posuk by Evedivri to tell me that it works. So once it's less, and I need a verse for it, Kashu is, where's the verse? So the answer is, I don't need that verse. There's no verse. It's Mame Matzinu.
There's no verse for Kiddushin, no verse for
Evedivri has a verse. Why? Because Shvei Kesef is less than Kesef. So the kasha is, where's the verse for Kiddushin? You could, but you try to first search for a verse, not for Binanav and Bamatzinu. Because by Binanav and Matzinu, every little kasha knocks it out. Every little question that is not doimi can knock it out. But it's very hard to say that the whole marriage, which we do for thousands of years, all that is Bamatzinu. I can knock it out from any chiluk. What? No, so again. I'm answering you. Why didn't in Havamina he didn't bring as a source? No, because the subject matter was first to prove that it's less than the apostle. Now you can say you can answer. It's already an answer. I need a apostle, but I don't have a apostle. But Matzinu is already a lower level because it's easy. It's better to have a apostle. That's what he says. In Evedivri, I have a posuk. By Pidyon Ben, I have a posuk. By Haters, I have a posuk. And where's the psukim in Kiddushin? So the answer is, you're right. I don't have a posuk. I agree to the kasha, but I have a matzinu. That's what the never wanted to say that. I mean, we were searching for posuk. It's better to have a posuk, as we see the psukim. Yes.
In the say that, no, you give them money is less, Shabbat Kesef is less than money.
Yes.
But if there is a seller and a buyer,
Yes.
there is an agreement between them. Why the Torah restricts and says, no. I don't agree with your agreement. Just get it. No, don't do it. But it might feel if you want your
Very good question. You have a very, very good question. But somebody about 500 years ago asked this question. You know who was he? It was the Marshal. The Marshal had a kasha on tosfos, and you know what his answer was? He stayed with a question. He said, "Tzatz kosher." He didn't give an answer. But I cannot really speak about it right now because people first know to know the tosfos. Because we're going to grind and back and forth and send a Marshal. You have to know well tosfos. This as well. Then see the Marshal. I cannot jump the gun. So let's read it inside now. We learn from Matzinu Binyanav and okay? So how do I know Shvei Kesef by Kiddushin? Tosfos answers, it's less, but I know it works because I learned it from Matzinu Binyanav from Evedivri. Das ist a kasha, wie im Toima. Voga benezikim, nami kosav kro, Kesef Yoshev leBaalov darshinon Yoshev Aboshe Kesef. By Nezikim we saw a clear verse. There's a pasuk that teaches you that value of money by Nezikim is like money. Shovek is like Kesef. If so, Avu Nezikim Evedivri, Shnei Ksuvim Aboim Kecho v'Melamdim. We have a rule every morning before we daven when we said the 13th attribute, right? What is the 12th midah? People remember this every morning. Shnei Ksuvim Aboim Kecho v'Melamdim. Two verses that teach you the same thing twice. They don't teach you. It means Hashem tells you only here, nowhere else. Capish? It's a common sense. It's a midah. So since Evedivri and Nezikim are saying the same thing, so then they're not melamdim. I cannot teach them. They cannot teach. So it's finished.
Neither one of you.
Yes. So Tosfos answer is a very simple answer. And logic. That's the answer. The answer is both of them are needed. Which means the rule that if the Torah said the same thing twice cannot be teachers, if the same thing twice is not needed, and the Torah says that must be the logic is only here, nowhere else. But if each one is needed for itself, so that's the reason why the Torah wrote it twice. The Torah didn't write it twice to tell you only here, nowhere else. The Torah wrote it twice because each one has a reason why. If that's so, then they still could be teachers. And I learned Kiddushin v'Mechin from Nezikim and Evedivri. And he answers. I'm reading now the Tzrichus.
We learned from both of them.
Tosfos started by Evedivri, and in the end it says from both of them, seems to be. It's not clear. This unclear point, I already conclude, unclear. Maybe only from Evedivri, or only from Nezikim, or from both. Three options. Why not?
Yeah.
Because if you have some you heard of the concept of Matzinu? Lo rizeh ki rizeh, atzad hashom b'shabohem. Yes.
Common characteristic.
Correct.
Yeah.
Common characteristic. What characteristic? It's called atzad hashom. Let's read the Tosfos answer. The Tarvayu Tzich, both of them are needed. The Kosav Eved Kreide, if the Torah wrote Eved alone, that Shvei Kesef, Lo Imatzi Lemelav Nezikim Mineh, I cannot learn Nezikim from it. The fee, because Shematzinu, we found Shikpid HaKosu, the Torah was careful, Le'inyan Meitav, that you have to pay the best of the land. Sal Kedai Tachamina, the Havamina would be that also when I pay movable things should be the best. Nami Kesef Dafka, only Kesef Lo Shovyoy, because Kesef is the best, value is less. Same way by land, I have to be made of the best. That one might think me to say that also by movable things would be Kesef Bafka, the best, silver, the best, Kesef and not value. That's why you need Kesef Yoshi Gabe Nezikim. Again, so if the Torah wrote Evedivri, the check is I won't know Nezikim. I'll say Nezikim, since the Torah is makmi by land to give Meitav, also by metal to only Kesef, which is the Meitav. That's why the Torah had to write Nezikim. because I cannot learn Nezikim from Eved Ivri. And also opposite. V'gabei Eved Ivri, Yitzchak na mikro. If the Torah wrote Nezikim, we said if the Torah wrote Eved Ivri, I won't know Nezikim. What happened if the Torah wrote Nezikim, I won't know Eved Ivri? He says also no. V'gabei Eved Ivri, Yitzchak na mikro. You also need a verse. The lo imotzi lemelech min Nezikim. You cannot learn from Nezikim.
I think from here, this tosfos.
Hello? Waste of time.
I think from this, what this was answering now, you see that if you're looking for another pasuk, it's because you can't learn from the first pasuk. It's not doing. I was thinking about it. I haven't also.
One second. I will hear your question. Don't forget your question. Just want to finish the first answer. I'm just waiting for a call. I want to answer. By Eved I also need a verse. If the Torah would say Nezikim, I still need a verse by Eved. Why? I cannot learn from Nezikim. The Avamina, there's a thought to say, Eved human in Nezikim. If I learn Eved from Nezikim, Eved should be similar to Nezikim. If I buy a slave with land, I need to pay the slave. If I pay him through the land, I have to pay him the best land. And we know it's not true. The Kachitzik Tavai, that's to tell you both of them, that both of them value of money is like money. That's one answer. What do you want to ask about more?
I'm saying that from here, that you're saying you need two pasukim, because if you had just one, you wouldn't learn out from the other.
Correct.
So because it's not have a meaning at the beginning when he says in Kiddushin what's the makor, even though he went as a release, that also shows you that you can't learn from the Levi. That's when you know the pasuk. That's not even for pasuk. It's showing that it's not dominant like over here. When you have another pasuk, it's because it's not dominant.
Right. So therefore what?
So in the Baba Havamina also, when he was looking for Kiddushin after he brought the Levi, because he's assuming that it's not the same after before the Miskam. And the Havamina is assuming it's not the same. And then he says you learn from everything.
So what changed?
Because I guess he's medammed them in some way, but the Havamina, he didn't want to medammed it.
Oh, you could say that. Possible. But then you have to explain what changed. Inam yeshloima. Inam yeshloima. Another answer, he says. Ikosa be'eved, if the Torah wrote Shvei Kesef by Eved.
Answer what?
Why the Torah wrote twice the same rule by Eved even Nezikim that Shvei Kesef Kesef? He says because they're needed. Ikosa be'eved, if the Torah wrote by Eved alone that Shvei Kesef Kesef, Avamina would say the din hu shenoken love. The proper judgment is to be lenient on him. The yuchaliv this atzma that he can redeem himself. Even the value of money in order kadesh lo yitoma ben we should not be stuck amongst goyim and the end will become an idol worshiper. We want him to get out of such a master. So that's why even anything get out, even value of money. So there's a reason why the Torah is lenient, even though it's less. The Lo Yishar doesn't apply to say they shouldn't be stuck and be a goy and influenced by goyim. So there, who says there they can pay less, they can pay Shavei Kesef.
That's why you can say in the Havamina while he was
La'amrina nochivi. What?
Now is a Kumen and a Dibri.
Yes.
In the Havamina, maybe he didn't want to medammed Kiddushin.
I'm answering you. If I heard you said the same thing three times. The answer is, what's the matzkono? If your svara is good, then the reason why I cannot learn from it even because Eved Ivri is shelo yitoma, that's why I'm lenient. If your svara is right, so what's the maskon of Yeshloim? What changed? This doesn't speak nothing about the change. If the whole point is your word, then you should have mentioned something about it. That's why it's hard. And soon I'll answer that in a second. I'll give you an answer to your point, but I don't want to mix the people up. I'm not fully answering. I have a whole world, believe me, for a couple of days. But you have to follow me according to the order. Ve'i kosa ben Nezikim kreida, and if it were written Nezikim alone, lo matzi lemeilaf eved minei, I cannot learn eved from him. If the Torah will write Nezikim alone, I won't able to learn a slave from him. Why? I would think that value of money is not like a kesef. They have it by a slave. If the Torah will write Nezikim, I won't know slavery. Why? The slave caused himself to be in such a situation to be sold. The Gemara says why a person went down to such a low level that he has to be sold because in the beginning he did a sin, he did business with fruits of Shvi, sabbatical year. And then Hashem made it, he didn't listen to Hashem, he lost his money, he went to debts, and then he had to sell himself. All started from a sin. When a person has problems, it starts from what? From sins. You hear this, Yechezkel? When a person has problems, it comes from sins. And then a person does a sin and Hashem punishes him, he doesn't listen, Hashem punishes him more. He doesn't listen, Hashem punishes him more. So why a person, this is for you, why a slave had to sell himself, no money, why? Because in the beginning he did business with fruits of Shvis. Yes. Right, la fruta. You know what's la fruta? The salcadaita. Good. The salcadaita, and therefore there's a havamina. The nachmirolo. There's a thought to say we're going to be strict on it. Loima to say dafka kesef. To say specifically money. Velo shovyo, not the value. Stop. So what really Tosfos answers? Very simple. Tosfos says, really, how do I know? Kiddushin ve'echin, I learned from Evedivri. Evedivri is snake suvim with Nezikim. They are needed. The Torah wrote Evedivri, I won't know Nezikim, because Nezikim is Meitav, so maybe Daltim also needs Meitav. And the Torah wrote Nezikim, I won't know Evedivri, because maybe also Evedivri needs, when I buy Evedivri car, I need Meitav. Or opposite. If the Torah wrote, another answer. If the Torah wrote Evedivri, I would say only there the Torah is lenient because you won't be stuck with the goyim. That shirk is a kesef, but not by Nezikim. Or if the Torah wrote Nezikim, I won't know because Evedivri caused himself his own trouble. So maybe I'll be strict on him, not to get him out with the value of money. So bottom line, since Evedivri and Nezikim, both of them are needed, and they can be teachers. It's not the Torah wrote the same thing with no reason twice to teach you only here, nowhere else. The Torah wrote for other external reasons because they cannot learn from another. So then once the Torah wrote them, and twice I can learn from them to Kiddushin and Erchin. This is what the Torah says. The last line, and we see the Marshal. Tosfos says the last line. And why we need a verse. The Pidyon Ben Vehegdesh. The Shvei Kezer Ezel Ovim Nizikim V'Nivri. We know Kiddushin learns from Evedivri and maybe also from Egdesh, from Nezikim. But why Pidyon Ben needs a verse? Kalu Patuklal and Egdesh. Why they need a Patuklal? Why they don't learn from Nezikim and Evedivri? By the way, what do we see Nezikim and Evedivri for both? Tosfos didn't say Nezikim or Evedivri or Nezikim. He said what? Nezikim and Evedivri for both. Seems to be it's a hint that before when I learned Kiddushin and Erchin, I learned from Nezikim and Evedivri. The Kash is, let's also Pidyon Ben Vehegdesh also learn from Evedivri and Nezikim. So although Tosfos says we're Shloim and Afim and Evedivri, but then he has a Kash and Nezikim and Evedivri is take Suvim, and he says not take Suvim. But it stays you only learn from Evedivri, or now Tosfos change once they're needed and to reveal that Nezikim is also there. Maybe I learn from both. I don't need from both. We'll see the Marashon here, and the Rashash, and the Tzvos Yosef, and the Makne to understand this. So Tosfos answers, you know why Pidyon Ben Vehegdesh, that Shovek Ezra said we don't learn Nezikim from Evedivri. The Fishe Balemaika Kois V'Shtoris. The Pratu Klal Uklal by Pidyon Ben Vehegdesh comes to exclude land and documents. Shem Poidim, we don't redeem them Bechorodom Egdeshos, firstborn son and sanctity things. So that's why that's something I wouldn't get if I wouldn't have Klal Pratu Klal by Pidyon Ben Vehegdesh and I would learn Shvei Kesef from Nezikim and Evedivri. I won't know other rules, other laws, which only the Pratu Klal teaches me. What other laws besides Shvei Kesef? By Pidyon Ben Vehegdesh, we need more laws, not only value of money is like money. Also other laws that you cannot redeem and you cannot sanctify only with movable things and money. But documents and land, you cannot redeem Bechorodom, and you cannot redeem sanctity by giving a check or by giving land. Okay. Now we're ready for the Marshal. People have to go over Tosfos well. I'm not expecting you to listen to my class right now and through this know the Tosfos. There's a lot of details I have to work it inside. Okay? But those that do know it or prepared it, they can follow me what I just said now. Yes.
The basis changed
beginning you said that feeling evidently.
Right?
Then you said
Nezikim evidivri.
why you change first evidently? Why you change Nezikim evidently?
And more than that, why in Maskoni said both when the Havamim didn't say both?
Because if it was only evidently, so you had to say first evidently and then Nezikim. But when he changed Rashi is both.
One option. One option. We'll see soon more options. More options. Bezat Hashem. Jonathan, do you have the tosfos in your hands? Yes. Means you understand, you following? What? Cannot? You have to put time. I glance it through, not expecting that people understand what I'm teaching now. Although it's my goal, I went through, but people have to spend time to go over the tosfos point by point. Write it out and see the order, and then you get the tosfos. Then, of course, there's a lot to it. There's a Marsha on it, there's Atzmas Yosef, there's a Makne, there's a Rashash. There's a lot of back and forth here. Okay? Requires like a puzzle. You know, it's a puzzle. You have to put the parts together.
The tosfos when he was looking for pasuk in Kiddushin, it's not clear that there's a pasuk for Kiddushin.
What?
It's not for sure that there's a pasuk for Kesef. Or Shabbat Kesef.
And what? Kiddushin, what are you talking about? In Kiddushin, Taisa says there's no pasuk. It's only a limud.
Rashi says,
What?
Rashi says on all of the cases, V'kuhu Yalech Mikraya.
Where?
In the Kesef of Bishtar.
The cool only good, but that's Kesef. Who says Shve Kesef? Okay. Not necessarily. If you look at Rashi Dafchet, open Rashi Dafchet, guys. Rashi Dafchet on top of the page. Rashi Dafchet on top of the page. That's easy for you, Jonathan. Read Rashi Dafchet and Dafchet Amud Aleph on top of the page. Read it for us. Can you read it for us? Shve Kesef Ke Kesef. You have the first Rashi in Chet Amud Aleph. Read it. Can you read the script, Rashi script? Okay, so I'm going to read it and follow. Shve Kesef Ke Kesef. Gabei Kiddushin Kesef Ksiv. By Kiddushin, it says the word Kesef. Veshve Kesef, and the value of Kesef, Israboy has been superfluous. Ke Kesef like Kesef. Where's the Ribui? Kedamrino lekamon, like the Gemara says afterwards, Yoshiv lerabois shve kesef. Aywalek, you deserve a pinch in your face. So Rashi says clearly, what's the Mekoy, what's the source of shve kesef by Kiddushin? Yoshiv lerabois shve kesef. Ilkach, therefore, he cares in the kites, but Rashi says clearly in the fact that the Mekoy, the source of Shve Kesef is what? Is Eved Ivri. 1 second, we're not finished. Look in Rashi, look in the papers. It says Mekoy is a Rashi, Daf Chet Amud Aleph, Rashi Daf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph Nematchil V'Klolo. Page 11a, open Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Dibur Amatchil V'Klolo is the last 2 lines of the page in Rashi. Page 11. Jonathan, page 11, the last 2 lines in the bottom. You don't have a Gemara?
Page 11 in the Gemara?
In the Gemara, Gemara Kiddushin, page 11a, Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, and the last 2 lines in Rashi. The Klolu, is it a rule? Shekesef shekosu b'toiro. When it says the word kesef in the Torah, dafka kesef ksiv, it's specifically kesef or shovio or its value. And afkamina, the difference is that the kesef ptsuri, it's it's silver from the city of Tzor in Lebanon, velo prutot, and not copper money. When the Torah said kesef, the Torah meant silver or its value. Without a limud, very good. And Dafchet, Rashi seems saying, I learned from Eved Divri the trick is a kesef. And Dafchet, he said what? Kedamrin lekamon, Israboy, v'shve kesef, Israboy ke kesef, like we see Kedamrin, like we said. Where's the word like we said? What? Here. 4 lines later. Ilem edaminu klal, in Chet Amud Aleph. Yosh li gulos ha'ol rabbi shve kesef ke kesef. So since, again, so it seems to be, if you medaik and Rashi doesn't say we learn from Eved Divri. Rashi says value of Kesef is being superfluous like Kesef, like we found by Eved Divri. So now it could be Mamatzenu, or it could be a Gilui, like the Pnei Yeshua. We'll see soon. And Rashi, the Yudalev says, when the Torah said Kesef, Kesef about Torah, Dafka Kesef Ksiv or Shovyoy, specifically silver or its value, but it's only silver or its value of silver. And Afkemina gets to do which silver we talk about, silver of Tzor, and not Prutos and not copper. Silver and not copper.
But this is the local.
Silver that comes from the city of Tzor. Tzor is in Lebanon. That was in those days, a thousand of years ago, that's when they used to cut the silver, the proper cut. And not Prutos and not copper coins.
Wait, so what's Rashi's shita?
What?
What's Rashi's shita?
We're not finished. We're not finished. You have to see Rashi and Ergin. You see in the papers, it send you to Rashi and Ergin, Chav Zayin Amud Aleph. Then we know Rashi's shita. You have to be Rashi and Ergin. We have Ergin here. Aaron, he says here. In the papers in Amud Bet above, it says, Mekor base, says base. Mekor Shem Gezef Gezef, Ayin Rashi Dafchet, Rashi Daf Yud Aleph, and Rashi and Ergin, Chav Zayin Amud Aleph. Let's see Ergin. Bring the more Ergin, please. More and Ergin. Rashi and Ergin, Chav Zayin Amud Aleph, Matchil V'ho. What? In Masechet Ergin, there's a tractate called Ergin, My Value, page 27a. Here. Dibur HaMatchil, Chav Zayin Amud Aleph, V'ho. Let's see. Thank you. Chav Zayin Amud Aleph, Dibur HaMatchil, V'ho Kaimalon. V'ho Kaimalon. Oh, the Gemara says, and established by us the value of money is like money. Wow. Like it says in Babakam page 7, Yoshiv lerabosh v'kesef afilu subin. He learns from the Zikim. We're all mixed up. And Masechet Kiddushin, when he learns it from Eved Divri. And Masechet Erchin, he learns it from the Zikim. One second, again. That in Erchin he says, is established by us that value of money, value of kesef like kesef. So Rashi says, what's the Mekoy? Not like Eved Divri, Yoshiv. Like it says in Kiddushin, he says, we say in the Zikim, page 7a, Yoshiv is lerabosh v'kesef afilu subin.
That's only been the Zikin that's the most part. That relationship.
So he brings here in Masechet Ergin that the value of money is like money. How we know that? We know it from the Zikim. And by Kiddushin he brings Eved Divri. So why here he says Ezekiel, why he says Eved Divri Lavdafka, he can say, or you can say that both are just a gilui, but not a real limud. Even skill is much better. Even like the Pnei Yeshua skilu, we can have him easy an answer. If it's a limud, why here choose here is lavdafka? It's hard.
What's the difference from open by the hair.
Good.
It doesn't fit in Rashi.
Give Jonathan. Give Jonathan. What? Where? Which? Yes, Rashi says what? Where? Kedabrinon. It's only a yes, it's Rabbi by there. It's a limud. See, no, limud by Evedivri. By Evedivri, Kesef Kesef was misrabe, and therefore I can learn by Matzino or Gilui. Be two options. But Rashi, I'm reading again, Rashi in Maseches Erchin, everybody has it. Dibor matchil v'okaymal on Shvei Kesef Kesef. You see that Rashi? Towards the end of the page. V'okaymal, you have it there, you both? You have it there, Rabbi? You have it there, Jonathan? V'okaymal, what? You have to see. The thing we talk about Hekdesh. Then we talk about Hekdesh. Somebody's Magdish on field. So the Gemara says, Shvei Kesef Kesef. Talk about Pidyon. V'okaymal on Shvei Kesef Kesef, da'amrim bo bekame, Yoshim le'rabo Shvei Kesef ilu subi, bo bekame es Nezikim. Today he learns Nezikim, and Kiddushin he learns of Evedivri. What's going on? Okay, you have to see the Marashot and Tosfos. Learn the Tosfos well. Then we have to see the Marashot tomorrow in the Rashash.
Where's the Marshal?
On the page. If you open the Marashot right now, I'll show you where. Open the Marashot right now. You have the Marashot? Open, I'll show you which Dibur HaMatchil. It's the second Marashot. Second Marashot from the beginning of the tractate. There's this long Marashot. It's complicated. You have to learn it well. If you don't know the Tosfos well, you don't know what he's saying. If you learn the Tosfos well, then understand what he says, and he states with a question. We'll give answers to it.
Which Marsha again?
Second Marashot. The second Marashot, the beginning of the second Marashot of the tractate.
Amid base, Daf base, Amid base.
So I expect everyone to prepare the Tosfos well. Then we'll do the Marashot. Okay? Ezrat Hashem. Rabbi Hananya ben Akash Yoimer. רוצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזק ישראל עתיקה. עיר בה יותר משנאמר. אני לא יכול בעצם לעתיד גוי, אגיל תוירו וידיר. כדי נזכדי שמי רבו. לא בוני ברוך ירוסי וימית מלמוסי. היכול ימי בכל וכלכול בייס ישראל. בגולו מזמן קוראים עם רומר. שמי רבו במורח נעובר ביום. Morar, Mitzvah, 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 Isador, Mitzvah, Mitzvah, Shmei de Kudesho, Shmei lo mikol v'chosov v'shirosov v'shirosov v'lechavosov, l'amirot v'olmo v'huomer, al Yisroel, al Rabonot, ועל תלמידיהם, ועל כל תלמידי תלמידיהם, ועל כל מנוס כמורה, יסוד הסקדיש ועדי, בכל עשר ועשר, יהי לאור כל שלמה רב, ובחינה וחיסדו ורחמים, היי ראיתם זה לרבי חופו, כל המקום ראשו יאמר הוא אומר, שלמה רבו משמע יום החיים עולנו, והכל זה הוא אומר, יעשה שלום הוא יעשה מלאך אמרו שלום עולנו, הכל ישראל הוא אומר.
זה דוגמה שמעתיד כמו מזיקי במקום זה. כדי אברינן לכך. Here is כדי אברינן. There is מה שמעתיד כמו מזיקי. Here is just a motion. It brings כאילו כדי אברינן לכך.
Nice one, like you think.
אחרי שילמד את המרצות, הרשש, זה הכל יובן הרבה יותר טוב. יהושע. הייתי את יהושע. זה יהושע אומר, זה לא לימוד אמיתי. לא מבטא מציל. זה רק גילוי בלשון.
You can heal out that so you can use that with much things.
It's already a composition of other people.
Yeah,
Already a bunch of things.
yeah, and then I was just thinking of making it smaller, making it more consistent.
That's to be
Exactly what I want.
The reason why it's to be noted because the woman has a similar governor that he's taking responsibility. That much money she understands to be a proper, sufficiently proper husband.